Welcome to another episode of Mr. Nailsin Sunday Comics. And this time I won't be reading you some old public domain comic book. No, I'll be reading you, not reading you, actually performing the story based on a comic book story that I did myself. Yes. This was a parody of Jawbreakers Lost Souls. So if you know anything about Comicsgate, yeah, see, you gotta be a part of a movement just to be able to buy a comic book these days. Of course, Richard C. Myers' Diversity in Comics, and some time ago he was challenged, hey, if you're so smart, why don't you do your own comic book? So he did. Then it's a long-winded story, but nevertheless, I backed the project and got an inkling of what the story is going to be about. And just for shiz, and giggles, I decided to do a parody of his superheroes turned mercenaries type story of the Jawbreakers, the name of their team. And decided I would do a Mad Magazine styled parody of Jawbreakers. So I did, and it was called The Nutbusters. And I posted it on Twitter. It got a few retweets and ha-has and hee-hees and all that. So I figured, hey, why not do that here? And I did the audio play version of it for my podcast, and then I decided to go ahead and make that be the audio of this rather than just read it outright. So the dialogue and everything is, of course, pretty the same. Not much is different. It's just that I added narration to it for the purposes of it being strictly an audio story. So there's a little bit of difference, but for the most part, you can follow along and feast your eyes on my attempt at artwork for this Mad Magazine style parody of Jawbreakers. So without further ado, here is Nutbusters. When a group of former superheroes can no longer fit into their tights, they become superpowered soldiers of fortune. Whenever tyranny's balls get too big and evil goes balls deep into the oppressed, you might want to call the Nutbusters. Once I was a priest, but after being seduced by a succubus and catching a demonic STD, I was cursed with hell-spawned powers. Now I use those powers for the cause of justice as Hell Evangelist. Always forgetting things, I put rubber bands on my wrists as reminders. Now I use those rubber bands as deadly weapons. That's why I'm called Rubber Bands. I'm called Slugsnot. I can ensnare my enemies in powerful cocoons. I weave with my nasal mucus. Go ahead and laugh, but my powers are nothing to sneeze at. Translation: my name is Mangy Mutt. It might cost me nut foot. I don't kick ass. I cut it wide open. And I'm Splato di Gatto, the spirit animal of the group. After being roadkill after a lesbian alien... look, never mind. It's a long story.
Nutbusters! Yeah!
Our story begins at the secret headquarters of the Nutbusters. Gentlemen, a dangerous bit of supervillain tech has fallen into the hands of terrorists in the small nation of Plop Plop. What kind of tech? A 60-foot beast. How the hell did anybody smuggle that into Plop Plop? Through a mysterious portal called a Plop Hole. And soon our heroes throw caution to the wind as they leap into the heart of danger, flying over the small nation of Plop Plop.
Gentlemen, we're nearing your destination. You know where the back door is. And thank you for flying Black Ops Airlines.
Time for the obligatory statement of how this could be our last job. This could be our last job. So any blessing, Hell Evangelist? What? Why, who sneezed? And so our heroes leave the safe confines of their airplane and drop down deep into the heart of Plop Plop. Jerry Louie!
Damn it! When it breaks the bank to invest in some parachutes?
Only seconds into their adventure, our heroes are suddenly attacked.
An ambush from the bush.
Oh yeah, then let's give them a shave.
The dialogue is worse than the decapitation.
Nutbusters, follow me.
Who are you?
My name is Sexy, and on behalf of my government, I welcome you all to Plop Plop.
Why, Sexy, thinky.
This crude diagram is a map to the enemy camp.
What is the significance of this clump of mud?
That is only a lion turd.
A lion turd? Guys, come on. Slug Snot is too distracted for leadership.
What? You plotting to foot Slug Snot in the back? Is there a problem, Knife Foot?
Yeah, you! You're not fit for leadership. Now don't get your nose out of joint, but
Don't get snotty with me. When it comes to cleaning out the boogers, I won't hesitate to blow my nose.
bless you.
Do you need a handkerchief?
No thanks, Sexy. I'm good.
Are you indeed good?
In my youth, when I was younger, years ago, in my past, when I was a costume super duper hero, it was all fun and games, but I made enemies, super duper villain enemies, like the creepy crawler, Bud Monkey, and the hangnail. But worst of all was Dr. Incel. Somehow, he was able to switch buddies with me and quickly set about to ruin my reputation as a ladies' man. I was switched back, but the damage was done.
Come on, baby. Go down and give it to me.
You mean with my mouth? Anyway, making giant mutant beasts was one of his talents. So this mission has opened old wounds.
Your tales of snotty powers has aroused me.
And soon, after some voracious lovemaking,
Well, nothing more exotic than sex in the jungle.
Actually, I prefer a hotel room. Fewer bugs and creatures crawling up my ass.
well, anyway, the next morning,
Sexy says this river will take us right up to the terrorist camp.
and soon our heroes are submerged in the depths of the river, slowly paddling their way into enemy territory.
What luck. The shed hangs over the riverbank. We can sneak in through here.
But little does Slug Snot know, that's no shed, but rather an outhouse, and finds himself crawling out of the terrorist potty.
Damn it! The enemy has already pooped on us without firing a shot.
We just swam through the terrorist sewer?
Sure, it's a crappy deal, but hold your rage for the enemy.
And soon, busting from out of the outhouse,
Nutbusters, attack!
this is for crapping on me, asshole! I can see the target with my demonic vision. It's inside that building, but good work, Padre. Now let me unlock the door with one slingshot grenade. What? Rubber bands? No, wait! Upon destroying the building, Rubber Bands inadvertently releases the 60-foot beast. It's Hump Day!
No, not him. Not Climax Camel.
He's already buried the terrorists under a pile of poop, but now he's headed for the village.
Time to be Nutbusters. Get behind him, Knifefoot.
What for?
To take the Climax out of the Climax Camel.
Yeah, one giant cut for a foot, one giant sack to drop.
At last, he no longer has the balls for monstering.
His humping days are truly over, even on Wednesdays.
Well, damn, we did it.
Yeah, sorry I got bitchy about your leadership.
Don't sweat it, Knifefoot. Now let's go get paid.
I'm sorry, my friends, but your contract with my government has been cancelled. It seems a man of influence told our leaders that you were eggy doodle heads.
Yes, nutsacks. I called them. Me, your nemesis. Man, baby.
Nutbusters! Yeah!
Nutbusters is a parody written, produced, and performed by me, Douglas Nelson. Music comes courtesy of Kevin MacLeod, Techno Acts, and other public domain sources. Well, there you have it, the Nutbusters. All due apologies to Richard C. Meyer and the other folks behind Jawbreakers. But unlike some people, I'm pretty sure Mr. Meyer and John Malin and Brett Smith are capable of taking a joke. And I do recommend Richard C. Meyer's Diversity in Comics channel. He does regular reviews of comic books and has some fascinating insights and discussions on the nature of comic book art and the nature of the business as it is today and as it was and so on and so forth. It's not going to hurt you to listen. He's nowhere near guilty of the charges put against him by a certain crowd that almost to a T are guilty of the very charges they project upon him. And if you're going to make an accusation without the knowledge, it's incumbent upon you to at least give it a little bit more than 5 minutes to the guy's videos to see, gee, is this true? And so far, that doesn't happen when it comes to his critics. So it's too bad. I'd tell you to go and support and get yourself a copy of Jawbreakers, but you can't. You had your chance with the Indiegogo. It would have been available through a publisher, but well, that's another story. So I am sure there'll be future projects from Mr. Meyer in the future, and we'll be looking forward to that. When I get my copy of Jawbreakers, oh yes, I will review it on my little channel here. So anyway, thank you for watching and listening. Do like and subscribe, and hey, while you're here, why not check out those link descriptions below? That'll take you to my many stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Bye-bye.